I have a very interesting profession. I'd say fascinating. I'm a pathologist at the courthouse morgue. I've seen a lot of things in my career. 20 years ago, I never would have thought you could hang a man for his own intestines. Turns out you can. But I will not describe the charms of my profession, but tell you an interesting story. On a warm May evening, I was on daily duty. There were no supervisors, of course, and the entire pathology department consisted of the three of us. Me and two orderlies, Derek and Thomas. Fun guys, I'll tell you. You can't get bored with them. There are people walking in the park across the street from us, and we can hear their joyful screams and squeals. And we're working. Why not have a drink, right? Especially when you're in a place where alcohol is abundant. Having finished all my business, in our profession there are more scribblings than corpses. I took off my glasses, washed my face, tidied up my desk, locked the door and went to see Derek and Thomas, who were, to put it mildly, not sober. We have a room where we change, rest, and eat lunch. That's where they had the banquet. It was still light outside. We were sitting, drinking, snacking, watching TV, discussing women. And how could it be otherwise? Our heated discussions were interrupted by the doorbell, which meant that a new corpse had been brought in. Thomas went to meet the guests. They brought a girl of about 16 to 18 years old, slender build, with long black hair, all intact, but I realized from the expression on the faces of the cadaver trucks that something was wrong. The guys looked scared. After accepting the girl, Thomas and Derek sent her off to our other friends. I went back to my papers. Minutes, signatures, notes. The policeman who had come to the place where the girl had been found and who had accompanied her on her way to us said that she had been found by a man in the park, in the bushes. Apparently he had gone to pee.
She looks strange. Well, see for yourself, you'll understand.
The policeman told me. Oh well, now we'll have to work all night again. Okay, the cadaver trucks had a drink, and we escorted everyone out the door. The girl was put in the refrigerator, where there were 3.5 more corpses. And we went to rest further. We had to keep going. Around midnight we got tired of all the talking and decided to take a nap. We passed out instantly. Around 1 a.m. I woke up to pressure on my bladder. What can you do? You have to go relieve yourself. After doing my dirty deeds, I go back to the hallway. It's not very bright in the hallway, so I step on something and fall face first into the floor. Stars flashed in my eyes and blood spurted from my nose. I, of course, immediately ran to take action to stop it. It ended safely, but then I realized. What had I stepped on? I went looking. I went all the way down the hall. I couldn't find anything. But when I tripped, there was a crunch, like someone's ribs cracked. I thought I should drink less, so I went to bed. I lay down, closed my eyes, and suddenly I heard it. It sounded like a tool cabinet collapsed in the next room. Great, I think. I go in there, everything's fine, the cabinet's still there. I go out, close the door, and then I realize that I had closed it before, and now it's completely open. In this situation, of course, I wanted to smoke. I headed for the exit, past the refrigerator door. And the door is like a huge safe. Stopped at the front door and listened. There is some movement in the refrigerator. I have to open it to see if there is anyone alive in there. It has happened, and more than once. But the light is turned on not from the outside, but from inside the refrigerator. I open the refrigerator, reach out my hand to the switch, and then I feel. The switch is strange, slippery. Maybe it's frostbitten? I press the switch. And there's no light. And there was some movement in the corner. So I said, "Is anyone alive?"
Did you wake up to smoke?
I heard Thomas's voice behind me. I thought I heard a noise, but the switch didn't go off.
Rats, probably. Let's go have a smoke.
We went outside and had a smoke. I still insisted on checking the refrigerator with flashlights. So we did. We woke Derek up, got the flashlights, and went exploring. We checked everything. Thomas fixed the light switch. All the bodies were there, all 3.5 of them. After Thomas fixed a switch, the lights started coming on. We went back to the break room for coffee, and then Derek asked, "Wait, where's the girl?"
What girl? All you ever think about is girls.
Thomas grumbled. "The one they brought in today, you idiot." All 3 of us sat wide-eyed, as if we were in a cartoon. The girl had disappeared because Thomas had left her right by the refrigerator door.
Stolen.
Thomas was outraged. After soberly pondering the situation in our drunken heads, we decided to check the refrigerator again. The girl was gone.
No, she couldn't have just disappeared.
Thomas persisted. We searched every corner of our fine establishment, even the basement. She was gone. We decided to go to bed. What else could we do? We'll report back in the morning. I couldn't sleep, and my colleagues were snoring like tractors. I got up, went for a smoke. I passed a refrigerator, and the door was open again. Even though the key is hanging, it should be locked. I go inside. I had to find out what was wrong, although I was already scared, and my feet were as cold as a corpse's. My cigarette fell out of my mouth at the picture I saw there. This girl is sitting on the floor and playing with parts of a corpse. I told you there were 3.5 corpses in the refrigerator. There were arms, legs, and a piece of torso in a bag, all burned. So this chick dumped it all on the floor and is sitting there having fun. I jump out of the room, shut the door behind me, and realized that the keys were hanging at the other end of the hallway. I ran down there. I stepped on something crunchy and fell off my feet again. When I looked back, I saw something round, but in the darkness I couldn't make out what it was. It made a hissing sound and moved toward me. I jumped up and rushed toward the boys, but someone grabbed my leg so hard that I cried out. It was so dark I couldn't see what was going on behind me. Derek and Thomas came running to me in their underwear. They dragged me, lying on the floor, into their room, yelled at me, and then listened to my incoherent story. They didn't believe me and went to check the refrigerator. They came back with bulging eyes and took me away to show me what was going on. So, the picture in the refrigerator. All 3 corpses torn to shreds, dismembered, cut into pieces. There's blood on the walls, the girl's gone. There were some symbols written in blood on the wall. We didn't look at everything for a long time. We just ran outside and ran to the hospital that was near us. We ran into the emergency room. Derek started telling everyone about our adventures, but of course his words were taken for drunken ramblings. They laughed at us and sent us to bed. We didn't go to bed. We sat down on a bench to smoke. I looked back at our morgue. That girl was standing in the window of our restroom, waving at us with someone's severed hand and drawing something on the window. We ran back to the hospital emergency room and sat there until morning. In the morning another shift came in, They couldn't find us, they started calling our cell phones. We didn't want to go to the morgue, but we had to. And what do you think? Everything was normal. No blood, no dismemberment, and the girl was lying where she'd been put. In such conditions we told no one anything, although my deputy, an elderly pathologist, suspected that we were hiding something. Citing a hangover, we quickly packed up and drove home, deciding to have another beer on the way. The shifter, of course, told me off for failing in my duties and dumping the girl on him. I apologized to him and advised him not to put the matter off until evening or night. Derek's a smart, well-read guy, by the way. He memorized these symbols on the walls, tried to understand them. He finally succeeded. According to him, it was a system of signs used in the rituals of some 19th century European sect to summon demons. About that girl. Then, through the police, we found out the circumstances of her death. A group of teenagers decided to summon a spirit for the sake of interest, following the ritual described in the book. To do this, they had to sacrifice a living thing. They slaughtered a chicken. What happened then, they could not explain, as if they had all lost their memory. And the girl died. But apparently not completely.